The next formulas we're going to look at are sum and difference formulas for our trig functions. So these come about because sine cannot be distributed, cosine can't be distributed, tangent can't be distributed into the thing that you're taking the sine, cosine, or tangent of. So we need these formulas for when we have plus or minus inside of our trig function. Okay? So here are the formulas, and I'll just take you through some examples to kind of show you how they work. So I've got sine of something minus something. So I'm going to use my sine formula. If you notice here, we've got these same symbols. So this is plus or minus. This is whatever this one is. Okay, it's the same. This one is plus or minus. This is the opposite because it's inverted. So if this is plus, we'll do minus here. Okay. Tangent is same here, different down there. So sine of pi over 2 minus u. Okay, my formula says, okay, well, I'm going to take the sine of the first thing times the cosine of the other thing. Since this was minus, this will be minus the cosine of the first thing times the sine of the second thing. Sine of pi over 2 is 1. So this is just cosine of u. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0, so this whole thing goes away and we get just cosine of u, which should make sense since this is one of our cofunction identities. Okay, so that's just a way to prove it. Here I've got sine of 75, and if I want an exact value, so I don't want to just type it in and get a decimal, I want exact values. What I need to do is rewrite this as the sum of things that I have on my unit circle. So this could be 30 degrees plus 45 degrees, because those are both on my unit circle. So then I'm going to use my sine formula. So sine of A, cosine of B, cosine of A, sine of B. Okay, so I'll take, this is the sine of 30 times the cosine of 45 plus, since this is plus, the cosine of 30 times the sine of 45. Sine of 30, okay, remember 30 degrees is here. The sine there is 1/2. Cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is square root of 3 over 2. And sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so when we multiply these, we get square root of 2 over 4 plus square root of 6 over 4, which is square root of 2 plus the square root of 6 over 4. We can't add these together. You can't add when you're underneath a radical, so we'll just leave it this way. That would be our exact answer. Okay, here's another type of problem we might come across. They're going to give you a couple sine, cosine values, okay? This really isn't any different. We're still going to expand it out. So sine of x plus sine of y is really the sine of x, the cosine of y, plus the cosine of x times the sine of y. The sine of x is 5/13. The cosine of y is negative 3/5. Now here's where the tricky part comes in. I don't know what the cosine of x is. So this requires you to make two right triangles. Okay, if this is x, the sine is 5/13. Pythagorean theorem would give this as 12. Over here, make another right triangle. This is y. The cosine is negative 3/5. That would make this 4. Okay, so cosine of x would be 12/13. Sine of y would be 4/5. And then we can finish the problem. Okay, so just combining what we've already been doing, making right triangles and things like that with a new formula. So this would be negative 15 over 85 plus 48 over 85. So this would be 33 over 85. Cosine of y minus x. So cosine formula, remember, is inverse. And we do cosine, cosine, sine, sine. So cosine of y, cosine of x, plus, because it's opposite of that, sine of y, sine of x. So cosine of y is negative 3/5. Cosine of x is 12/13. Sine of y is 4/5. Sine of x is 5/13. So we get negative 36/85 plus 20/85, which would be negative 16/85. Tangent, a little bit more complex formula, but not too bad. Tangent of the first plus tangent of the second, 1 minus tangent of them multiplied together. So I'd have tangent x, tangent y, oh, that's plus, over 1 minus, okay, the first one's the same, the second one's opposite. Tangent x times tangent y. So we're going to have tangent of x is 5/12. Tangent of y is negative 4/3. One minus these things multiplied together. So let's see. I need to multiply this by 4 on the top and bottom, so I get a common denominator up here. So I have 5 minus 16, which would be negative 11/12. 1 plus, since the minus, we'll turn this to plus, 20 over 36. This is 20 over, or this is 36 over 36. So this would be 56 over 36. And instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So this comes out to be, let's see if I can cross reduce. 3 and 1. Negative 33/56. Okay, so there's just a few examples of how you can use your sum and difference formulas.